Well, they closed down the mill and they closed down the mine. They said you can't work but pay your taxes on time. Got 3 little babies gonna starve to death or freeze. We started making white lightning, it was Grandpa's recipe. Run, rebel, run to no avail. Run, rebel, run to the Scott County Jail.
Hey everyone. Hey, Chris. We are here. It's Thursday night. It's been probably, I guess, about 2 weeks since we've been on here on the show, but we're really happy to be back. And you're locked in for the next hour with myself and Christy Sumner.
Hey, everybody. I am at the jail. Miranda is remote tonight at her house doing a couple of different things. So she's working on some stuff there. I've got a flashlight tour that I'll be hosting after the podcast tonight. So we're excited about that. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really do appreciate you taking your Thursday evening to chat with us. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them over in the comment section. Miranda and I are just going to kind of be riffing off the cuff here tonight, talking about some various things.
Yeah, sometimes those are the best shows. We like to kind of talk about some of the cool things that we've got going on here at the historic Scott County Jail, as well as historic Rugby After Dark. And then just, kind of talking about with what you want to talk about over there in the chat room. If you have any questions or comments, I do ask that if you don't mind, please put them in all caps, even though we don't have a guest tonight. It does kind of help because I know sometimes conversations get started or different things get going over there. And I want to make sure that we don't miss you guys as we're moderating this and also having our conversation here. But it's kind of been a minute since we were here. I know we, on our last show that we had, we went international. Actually, our last 2 shows that we went international with Australia, kicking off there in February, and then we were in Canada. What was the
Ottawa?
Ottawa, Canada. And so
Ontario. Yeah,
Ontario.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Ontario.
that's right.
Sorry,
I
we
thought
were in
that
Ontario.
sounded wrong.
Yeah, sorry, wrong-o.
Yeah, and they were gracious enough to give us a tour, and we made a really big announcement on that last show as well at the end of the show, which was a lot of fun, and we've not really had the chance to expand upon that very much, so we're hoping to kind of do a little bit of that tonight as well.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that, but we're in obviously the last day of February. Unbelievable. It is a leap year, obviously, so happy leap day, I guess. And rolling into March tomorrow. Unbelievable how quickly March got here. And we've got a lot of stuff, like Miranda said, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but we are gearing up our spring calendar, and we're very excited about this. We've got so many different great podcast guests coming up. We've got so many different cool rides to announce, locations that we're going to be at, doing different speaking engagements. So March 1st is really going to kick up a lot of big announcements for us, for sure.
Absolutely. And, the first and foremost, we're starting tomorrow. We're back on our normal schedule. We're going to be open our 5 days a week, Thursday through Monday, and 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Normal schedule. closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We are going to be keeping the schedule as far as paranormal every night up until March 10th. And guys, I mean, this is a really cool special thing that we've had several teams take advantage of these extra dark hours by booking an investigation. If you book your investigation between now and March 10th, you get 2 extra hours of investigation time. And I mean, that is more than plenty of time to cover the jail multiple times over. You know, if you're coming to do an investigation.
Yeah, and it's really. I'm sorry, not to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you get it from 7:30 p.m. to 4 a.m. there at the jail.
Yeah. And you know, it's been really active lately. I don't know if it's the cold weather that's kicking it up, or the fact that our day tours have kind of, you know, we haven't had the hours. So Miranda and I haven't really been here the amount of hours that we typically are. But, you know, even during some of the guests that have come in during the day just to do day tours, I know last week we had a couple come in and, you know, I was talking to them and something just started whistling and freaked them out a little bit. And this is at 2:00 in the afternoon. So they were really excited about that. So, man, I'm telling you, the jail has just been really chatty lately.
It has, you know, the teams we've had in the last little bit have talked about some of the really cool things that have happened. And I can't wait to hear what happens on the flashlight tour that you're doing tonight. Because the last flashlight tour that I did, which would have been about 2 weeks ago, was off the chain with activity, everything from singing, music playing, to things moving, cell doors. A guy was touched on the tour. And I mean, we don't even do investigations during these flashlight tours. And it was a very active experience. I think they're getting ready to book and plan to come back and actually do a full overnight investigation just because it was so active. So we also had a storm coming in that night. So that probably played a little part in it too. Yeah. But I can't wait to hear your activity tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. It's been a minute since I've done a flashlight tour here. So typically you're on night patrol, but with your schedule, it's a little bit different. But yeah, so like we said, just a lot of stuff going on. You know, Miranda mentioned that the announcement that we made a couple of weeks ago when we were here was that we now have the keys to the First National Bank building, which is here in Huntsville. And this was a building that was built in 1909, just a few years after the jail was built. And it's made from the same exact sandstone that the jail is made of. There's a picture of it right there. And we're really excited about this. So we've got a lot of different plans that we're kicking around, but it's really going to benefit both our day tours, our night tours, as well as our paranormal investigations. So right now, what the plan is, tentatively, is to kind of make this a true ticketing office where, Sally, Sally, give me that. Sally, sorry.
While she's doing that, yeah, as Chris was,
look at this.
Yeah, there she is.
Sally.
Like Chris was saying there, gotta have Sally always has to make herself known. And she has just been
feisty.
Yeah. So go on, as you were saying. I was going to continue.
Hold on,
while
give her some snacks to get her out from behind my laptop. Fat little furry beast. So kind of what we're thinking is making this a true ticketing office where we will start our tours from the bank building and really run our point of sales through there, have our gift shop over there. That way the tours of the jail will be true guided tours. Again, also incorporating the bank building. And then it's really going to open another room here at the jail for paranormal investigators. So currently one of us is on site during paranormal investigations, but this will allow us to kind of be about 100 feet away from the jail. So we're still going to be close in proximity, but it will allow the paranormal investigators to have the jail building essentially to themselves. We are probably going to require that you check in, once every couple of hours to make sure everything's okay. But otherwise, it's going to open some more space here in the jail to actually investigate.
and the rooms that we're opening up for the investigators. If you've investigated the jail before, I see Supernatural Lost Adventures is there in the chat room, and we know you guys just booked, so we're excited to have you all back. They were actually our first team that ever
That's
investigated
right.
here, so so I'm excited for them to come back a couple years later afterwards. But if you've investigated the jail before, you'll know that we're on site but out of sight. We're locked there in the gift shop, and there's just something about having people. We will still be on site, and I'll pull up a picture here in a few minutes showing how far away we'll be. But there's just something about that, being in this building essentially by yourself, that that just brings out an extra creepiness. And so we are really excited about that, because we won't be there. I mean, we'll check you in, and we will be offsite there. You'll, if there's a problem or if you need anything, you'll be able to reach out to us. As Chris said, we will be checking in, and we will, require a first walkthrough and then a walkthrough afterwards with everyone. But those rooms are just very active rooms that we're in. Sometimes whenever we're sitting there during the investigations, activity is going on around us in the room. But if you followed some of our videos, some of our best evidence that's been captured has come from this particular room that we're getting ready to open up for investigators.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've watched, as Miranda said, our Facebook page, the door opening and something pushing Sully in, that is the door to our gift shop. And so that's what we'll be opening up for paranormal investigators. And we'll be moving our gift shop over to the bank building. And so, yeah, like we said, we're really excited about this. And not just from the aspect of allowing paranormal investigators to have this building or moving our gift shop or having a true ticketing office, but really for a couple of things. One, we're very proud of the fact that Dennis Jeffers, the mayor here of Huntsville, and the aldermen trust us enough to give us another historic building. That is really humbling, and we're very proud of the fact that they acknowledge our quest of historic preservation. So we really do appreciate that. And it's the fact that we now have given the bank building a new purpose, right? That it's going to be preserved. It's been sitting vacant since COVID. And so now we get to come in and we get to give it a different historical significance, and we're really excited about that. So to be able to utilize both of the most historic buildings here in Huntsville, really in Scott County, to us is we're very proud of that.
Yeah, and it's one of those that, I mean, it's kind of a sister building to the jail in and of itself, because it's made out of the same sandstone. Not only was this building the bank building, but for quite a long period of time, it also served as the health department. And so we're in the process of gathering artifacts as well as gathering more history just on this building in and of itself. This building and the jail, they were both on the same phone line whenever they got the phone system put in there. I know that one of the ladies that worked there was telling me that one of the buildings was 2 longs and a short, and the other was 2 shorts and a long whenever someone would call. And so that's kind of cool to have your bank and your jail on the same phone line.
Yep. So if you look at the picture here to the left, we also get that little courtyard area, the one there with the flagpole. So we're going to be planning on doing some different things there as well, putting up some picnic tables possibly, or using that wall right there as maybe some type of a movie in the park type of a thing in the summer. But this photograph here, if you see the bank building, the corner of it is on the far right, and our jail is on the far left. So oh, here's a video. So you see the jail in the background there. And then here comes the bank building, hopefully into view. And so it's only about 150 feet away from each other. So, we really think that it's going to be a good get, like I said, for us, for paranormal investigators, and do some different historical things with it. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. And just, I mean, Huntsville in and of itself has got such a great history that we talk about. And so being able to have that, include that with it. We're still kind of working on the details of how we're going to be doing our day tours and working out the logistics. We're still moving things from the jail. I mean, as you guys know, I mean, a lot of work goes into these buildings, getting them cleaned up, getting them ready for that to happen. Right now, the anticipated opening date, as far as transitioning things over, um, I'm going to conservatively say mid-March,
Yeah.
but hopefully we'll maybe be able to do that a little bit sooner. I know we've got a couple investigations booked. I can tell you, probably for anyone that books between now and March 10th, more than likely, you're not going to have access to that room just yet. You get the 2 extra hours, but again, we're in the process of moving all that stuff over. Bob asks, can you rent a room at the jail instead of a motel? No.
No. And we get this question a lot, Bob. We cannot allow overnight sleeping inside the jail. It cannot happen, because at that point, the fire marshal says that we are essentially a bed and breakfast. That puts us into a whole nother tax bracket. That puts us into a whole new list of regulations. So we just can't do it. So the latest we can have anybody here in the jail is 4 p.m. And that's really our hard stop point. We have to be out, and we have to kind of show that people are out and not staying here. So thanks for the question, Bob. And we get it a lot. I mean, we have people calling us all the time. If I bring a cot and a sleeping bag, can I sleep in the jail? And we just can't do it. Unfortunately, we just can't do that.
Now, if you want to book an investigation and you want to sleep during part of your investigation, that's totally your prerogative. I mean, I know I like to sleep at locations if they give the opportunity for that. So you are welcome to do that. We just can't allow you. We have to have closed hours, and we between Chris and myself, we try to maximize as much time as we can, and spread ourselves as thin as we can. So because,
because what sleep, right? That's
exactly.
But as Miranda said, if you want to take part of your investigation time, roll out your your bedspread or your sleeping bag. That's fine, just as long as you're up and out by the time we say the investigation's over. That's what you have to do. And that's there's absolutely no way around it. We can't do that because we risk our partnership with the town.
Yeah. And I mean, that would also, we would end up having to raise the price as well for lodging, because that would really shoot our cost for insurance up, because it is a totally, like Chris said, it's a total different thing insurance wise. Whenever
you have to have showers, we'd have to have hot water heaters, and it just goes into a whole litany of things.
Yeah. We have been kicking around the idea of giving people the option if they want to add an extra hour. We had a lot of folks that have enjoyed this extra time. We're still looking at the details of that, of giving that as an option if you would like to purchase any extra time. We can't quite do it on the front end, just because we do have escape rooms, and after we close for the day, we've got to go, grab something to eat, change our shifts, that sort of thing. But if that's something that people are interested in, I mean, I don't know, as far as the investigators, there that's in the chat room, I mean, would you be interested if you had the opportunity to purchase from that 3 o'clock hour to 4 or what have you? Is that something that would be of interest? Let us know, because we are always looking at options, but we can't really.
Bob, what you can do for lodging though, Bob, is we've got Rugby. So we definitely can hook you up with some interesting places to stay around here. And Rugby, you just jump on and do another investigation. So what we've been guiding people to do is actually to make a full weekend out of it, or a couple of day adventure out of it, is to book 2 nights in Rugby and then investigate the jail one night and then investigate Rugby the next night. Make it a double whammy.
Yeah. I mean, it's only 20 miles from here, so so that makes it even more perfect. And thank you guys for putting that on there. Eric said, I see a lot of people that have said yes. Eric says, I think we have plenty of time to investigate the jail, but I think it would be good to have the option. And that's what we're finding. I mean, a lot of people, we're I would say a medium-sized jail. You know, I always say we're a
Yeah,
small jail,
I say
but
we're a
after
small
what we've
jail too.
seen,
Yeah. I always considered us a small jail, but we took a road trip yesterday down to Dahlonega, Georgia, to pick up a new display case for our new bank building, and so we had the opportunity to pass a couple of small county jails, and I mean, both of them could fit inside of this jail.
Mhm.
The old county jail there in Jasper, and then the
Mhm.
Lumpkin County Jail right there in Dahlonega. And
Mhm.
I was impressed by both properties. We didn't get to go in because they were both closed, but when you look at them and compare them in size to this jail, ours is quite big for a county jail.
Yeah, and yeah, as Supernatural Lost Adventures said, for a county jail, it is big. It and that's saying it is tight inside, for large groups. That's why we limit our group size that we do. But kind of tagging off what Eric said, people consider it or think of it as a small jail, and they think about the time. But when you really get in here and look at it, it really is a lot of time to
Hmm.
investigate and cover the entire jail. But we'll definitely look at that as an option for the possibility to be able to purchase extra time if somebody is interested. And I think that's something that people would have to do on the front end.
Like in the
Um,
book, yeah.
yeah, when they book rather than doing it the night of, because again, um, it's kind of hard, when you have a
Mhm.
daytime and a nighttime schedule. It's not really something that can be added on later. But and Ronnie, we do definitely hope that you guys get down here and do the jail in the same weekend.
Mhm.
So
And
that's
yeah, and
great.
it does make it easy, Ronnie. We've had a couple of teams do this already,
Mhm.
and it does make it easy because you get to stay in a haunted location both nights and investigate two really active locations on both respective nights. So for us, it's and for rugby and for the teams, it's been a really good partnership because of that. So we hope that you and other teams as well start taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and so we'll get into rugby here in a second because I want to pull their website up and we got a lot of cool things. Hey, Sally.
Yeah.
Uh, to talk about there. But yeah, just remember if you're wanting that extra hour, there's no extra charge or extra 2 hours right now. We are offering that through March 10th. So get on there, book that. We do ask you do have to book 3 days before the investigation. That way, we can make sure it's there on the schedule. But we have that through March 10th if you want to take
Mhm.
advantage of that.
Yep.
And let's see here. We are in the process of revamping the website. So just kind of bear with us on that. We're working on, we did just get new shipments. A lot of folks have been taking advantage of that as well. Our new shipments of Selly shirts, Paw and Order shirts that we got in. And we have a full shipment of all sizes, small through 3XL of our historic Scott County Jail hoodies.
Yes.
We're hoping to maybe add some new merchandise. Chris and I have been talking about some really cool things that we're going to be adding when we move the gift shop over to the bank building. We'll be able to not just do historic Scott County Jail merchandise, but we'll also be able to add some Scott County merchandise that kind of go along with the history of Scott County. So new merchandise coming soon. Just to kind of watch out for that. Let's see. I do want to mention this. Also, a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah.
But I want to mention
You've got the
something you
list.
shared today that I thought was really cool.
Oh, the
Let me
pop
get this
art?
pulled up. Yeah, yeah. We're all about, I mean, especially when it comes to Sally, everyone knows Sally she was a stray that's come in. So we're really kind of partial to our animals and our rescue companies that's out there doing some really great things and really utilizing unique opportunities for people to raise money. You want to tell a little bit about this that our friend Alice Willis did?
Yes, so we've got a friend that's been following Ghost Biker and Soul Sisters in the jail, Alice Willis, and she messaged yesterday with this really cool picture of Sally, and we're like, "What is this?" And so she has a friend who is assisting the South Paw Rescue in, I think it's Forest Hill, it's in California. And so this friend, if you donate to the rescue, will take any photo of your pet and turn it into this pop art that you can use in marketing or whatever. And so Alice Willis submitted Sally's photo for this, and this is what they came out with. And it's really cool. I love the colors. Obviously, this was one of her Halloween pictures where she had her little sheriff's hat on. But you see her little name tag. You see the Sally graffiti up on top of the wall there. So it's a really unique fundraising initiative for Southpaw Rescue there in California. So we have the links if you want to visit their website, if you want to donate, if you want to submit your pet's photo, you can do that as well. And you can have your very own pop art of your pet. But as Miranda said, everybody knows Sally was a little rescue. So anything that we can do to help other rescues across the country or across the world, we want to do that absolutely. So this is a really cool cause, a really cool fundraising initiative, and we're really humbled that Alice Willis did this for us.
Yeah, everybody loves Sally, and so everyone knows Sally too. And so whenever they come in for their investigations, I always joke that they always make their little sacrifice to the queen, because so many people bring her, and she's used to it too, that she expects treats and toys. We even had somebody bring in her own little orb, so
That's right.
and Sally loves that orb.
Yeah, they brought her a little stuffed little orb with little eyes and everything, and she batted that thing around for a long time. But yeah, people bring her treats. They bring her all types of different toys and stuff. Vicky, Nikki, and the Sheilas bought her a big cat tower, so she's gotten that as a gift. So she's definitely a little queen of the castle for sure. But everybody's support of her, we just can't thank you enough. She really is something special, and we joke about her sometimes, but we're darn lucky to have her here at the jail.
We are. She really does keep the rodent and pest population out of the jail there, which is really good. And honestly, I feel like she kind of occupies the spirits.
She does. Yeah, she does. I think that they've gotten along really well. And she will be moving back and forth with us. She'll be at the bank sometimes and be at the jail. And she knows we're talking about her. And be at the jail as well. So she's still going to be Sally the jail cat, but she may have to get a banker's apron as well when she goes over to the bank.
Also want to mention we've been on some really great podcasts over this past week. So if you didn't catch those, I definitely suggest go and listen to them, support these podcasters. We were just on Portal to the Paranormal back on, was that Tuesday? No, that was Monday. I'm totally losing track of my days. On Monday, which is out of the UK, which was really cool. Our good friend Nando, he had us on, and we got to talk about some cool things. We actually even had some interesting things happen at the jail while we were on the podcast. And he highlighted some of our stuff. And then on Sunday night, we were on there talk with, let's see, that was the
with Angela.
Yes, with Angela, and it was the paranormal. Let me pull that up. I want to make sure I get their name right. It was Ghost Talk with the Enigmatic Explorers.
Yeah,
and their show's really cool because they cover locations. They do a 30-minute podcast there where they cover places, and they actually highlighted some of our favorite evidence that's come out of the jail here. And we're going to be on there next Sunday night talking about historic Rugby after dark. So go back, catch those podcasts, see some of our evidence that we shared, and hear some of the stories and the history of our location that we highlighted on those podcasts.
Yep.
Let's see here. Let me get, let's jump into kind of talking a little bit about Rugby. if you want to.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
get
So
that
we're
up here.
obviously rugby is closed for their off season at the moment, but they will be opening up here on the 16th and on March 16th. And so we're going to be there as well. They have a road bowling tournament on March 16th that we're going to have a booth set up. Really excited about this. They've been having road bowling for a couple of years now. And I'm telling you, this has exploded into a phenomena here in East Tennessee. So I think last year, didn't they have something like 60 or 70 people for this
Mhm.
road bowling competition? It's really neat. They just have this ball and you throw it down the road, kind of like a
Like
tradition
a
to.
cannonball.
Yeah, it's about the size, about the weight of a cannonball, I think is how they described it. And it's kind of a throwback game to the 1880s when rugby was created, and it's a lot of fun. So we'll have a booth there on March 16th. We'll be putting all of this on our Facebook pages and sharing all the information. But I think it starts at 1 Eastern time on March 16th. So if you're anywhere in the area of rugby here in Scott County and Morgan County, make plans to come up and visit us. Take advantage of the road bowling, get in on the tournament, or just sit and watch and cheer on your favorite road bowlers. But I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll be open. We have lantern tours open already, but our schedule is really going to become formal here starting in March. So book a lantern tour with us, book a guided ghost hunt or a paranormal investigation, because this year is going to be a really great year, I think, for all three of those things.
Yeah, with rugby. Rugby is actually, we got it up and hopping at the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
We offer 2 different lantern tours there, one of the main downtown village area, the other of the North Village that goes over into it goes over into the cemetery and over to the old Tabard Inn site. So, those tours, with those kicking off, I mean, that's exciting because we didn't kick the second one off till October. So we've got the opportunity to run 2 simultaneously here. We do recommend you do take the downtown tour first, just because it does give a little bit more of the history. They both give history, but one's a little more abbreviated, talks a little bit more about Appalachia and Victorian burial customs, and it's a little bit darker and a little bit creepier, I think, because you're
Oh
just
man, it's
it's
so creepy. It
it
it,
really
it
is.
there's dark and then there's rugby after dark. Because there is no light pollution in this town at night. Maybe one street light, 2 street lights, I think, and that's it. And so when you're walking down to the cemetery at night, it's a different type of dark. But as Miranda said, it's a lot of fun. We talk about different legends, different, like Miranda said, burial practices on that tour, on the village tour. You get all the history. We get to go into 5 of the historic structures that have been standing since the early 1880s. So you get to go into these buildings. We give you a K2 to walk around with. A lot of people on our tours have had experiences, some for their very first experience, right? We've had disembodied voices. We've had people taking pictures of apparitions in the window of some of these buildings. We've had footsteps running in these buildings. And these are just on the lantern tours, right? That's not even including what paranormal investigators are getting. But it's really cool just to step back into history here, because there's no road pollution. There's no light pollution. It is literally like you're stepping back into the 1880s. And I love these lantern tours.
I do too. And the guided ghost hunts, we have not advertised those as much at either location, but the guided ghost hunts are so much fun. And if you are interested in a guided ghost hunt, before we get that information put up on the website, please call us, because we keep those to a small, very intimate experience. We allow no more than 6 on those guided ghost hunts, and we allow and you get to investigate with myself or with Christy. In some instances, you get to investigate with both of us. We do have a minimum requirement of 4 people, or not 4 people, but the minimum price that you pay for that includes 4 people.
Tickets.
Yeah, 4 tickets, but you can have up to 6 people on that. And so, it's a really cool, fun, intimate experience. It's 3 hours, and you get to really go in and have a fully immersive guided ghost hunt experience there with us. But if you are a paranormal investigator, you don't have to have a team. We have gotten that question before. You don't have to have a team, but if you are wanting to rent this out as a private paranormal investigation, then you can get that there at Rugby, the same as with the jail. It is from 8:30 until 3. Unfortunately, we don't have the option to add more time on this one, like we've talked about with the jail, because this is a partnership with the historic village of Rugby. That's pretty well set in stone. So it's from 8:30 to 3. That is Eastern time, and you do get 5 different structures?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
we do get this question a lot. When we say we have partnerships with these locations, we actually truly have partnerships with them. That means part of the ticket sales go to benefit these locations, right? The ticket prices are split with Rugby. They do get proceeds to really benefit the historic preservation of that location. Same thing here at the jail and with the bank building. Rugby and the town of Huntsville, they benefit financially from both of these. So, when people talk about different locations and, I've seen different groups talking about how some locations are maybe going into price gouging, which is a whole different topic of conversation. For us, it is about historic preservation, and all 3 of these locations benefit from that. So that's another thing that we're really proud about with these partnerships.
absolutely. And as Supernatural Lost Adventures asked, they ask how much is it for a private. So they're at Historic Rugby for a private. Now this does not include lodging, but it is $500 from the 8:30 till 3 a.m. It's $500 plus tax, and so you do have the option to do lodging there. Rugby. So just to kind of talk briefly about the process with doing the lodging. So typically Rugby has a 2-night minimum with their lodging accommodations. They have they actually have a boarding house where you can either rent rooms in it or you can rent the full boarding house out. And I know that they have 2 other housing options, Piercy Cottage or Piercy House and Pioneer Cottage. And I think those sleep around 6 people, I believe,
Yeah. Yep.
inside of those. And it's very reasonably accommodated. But they do have a 2-night minimum, but if you book a paranormal investigation with us, they will waive the 2-night minimum and you can book the lodging there. So the way the process is set up, you can check with us and reach out to us, and you can either look at Rugby's calendar and see if that date is available for lodging if you're interested in that, or you can reach out to us and we can check that. But you would need to book with us first, and then we'll let Rugby know as you go in and book, and so that they'll waive that 2-night minimum. So anything I left out on that? I'm
Other
working
than the
on
fact that the locations that you get to stay in, I mean, they're active locations. The Newberry house, as Miranda said, you can either book the entire house. It sleeps up to 14. You can get the entire house and use that as your own little paranormal investigation inside that house, and then join us for the rest of the houses. Same thing with Percy Cottage and Pioneer. These are active locations that you're actually staying in. So aside from just getting an investigation of the entire village, while you sleep, you can throw up some voice recorders, throw up some cameras, and actually make it, a true overnight investigation.
Yeah. Now, if you are lodging, I do just want to make sure I say this. If you are lodging there and you've, booked your investigation, after the investigation is over, you can't roam around the village investigating after that 3 o'clock hour. The village is a living village. So while it is very quiet and you don't have the road noises and such, there are folks that live there in the village as well. So, and other people who have rented the locations to sleep at. So, you can't.
Right. So essentially what we've done is we're the liaison for Rugby. So we will be with you. We won't hold your hand during the investigations. We'll open the buildings, give you access for the buildings. You investigate from that 8 to 3 hour. And then you'd have to go back into the house that you're staying in, or leave if you're not lodging. So we have that actually set up with the sheriff's department as well. So the sheriff's department, they get notified when we're there and we have an investigation, because they do monitor that location for vandalism and such. So if there's people just walking around doing an unauthorized investigation, there's a potential that you will get cited for trespassing. So that's the reason why, we do want to bring that up. So as Miranda says, if you're not with us as a liaison, as a paranormal investigator, then you're essentially trespassing, and you will be cited as such.
And you can't just book a night at Piercy or a night at Pioneer or Newberry and investigate, because you have to go through the booking with us, because we do their after dark programming. So like Chris said, you could be trespassed, you could be cited if you do that. So Dan, there's the link like you had asked for. That's for the Rugby After Dark page. That takes you to everything. If you're interested in the paranormal part, just go to the paranormal tab, and we also have a link to Rugby's booking calendar on there as well for their overnights. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there was anything else when it comes to Rugby. These lantern tours, they will. Yeah, after we get started on this, these will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. Every single week, we'll have multiple tours running. And if you have a large group and you're interested in doing one of the tours, and there is a date that's not on there, we've actually set up several different things. We're actually accommodating some special groups. So please reach out to us, because we can actually customize these tours. If you don't see a date on the calendar, the reason could be because there could be an investigation booked, but it may also be because, it's a day we're not open or offering them, but we still encourage you to ask, because we really like putting these custom tours together and working with people on things. So,
so if you got a hiking group, a scouting group, a school group, or, a church group or whatever, and you're going to be in the area and you want to do something a little bit different, either here at the jail or at Rugby, as Miranda said, we encourage you to call, because we'd love to work with you.
Yep. Our day tours there at the jail, they're going back to the normal time, but we will sometimes close them off there for when we have school groups and stuff like that come in. Now, if you're looking for a day tour with Rugby, they handle all their daytime tour stuff. We are strictly historic Rugby After Dark. If you've not gone on and liked our Facebook page, we would love for you to do that. I'm going to pull that up as well, because we sometimes try to put things over on the page, on the jail page. And sorry, I cannot type and talk at the same time, because I'll end up typing what I'm trying to say. Okay, here we go. Sometimes we will overlap and put things on the jail page when stuff is going on with Rugby, but a lot of the time we kind of try to keep the two separate. Our company is History, Highways, and Haunts. We are headquartered there in the jail, soon to be headquartered in the bank building. And on any given night, I think Chris and I are either running around one place. Yeah. So if you're interested, we would love for you to go and like our historic Rugby After Dark page. That way you can make sure that you get all information about all things historic Rugby After Dark, and even check out their daytime page, just Historic Rugby Inc. And that's all things, everything from their hiking, their festivals, their events, everything that they've got going on with them. Check out that page as well.
Yep. So we have a lot of cool announcements for Rugby coming up in the next couple of months as well. So we're just really excited about this partnership. It's a lot of fun. It's just a really cool village. Again, the fact that there's so many of the original buildings from the 1880s still standing that you can get access to, it's really a unique experience for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Really unique to be able to see that, and then to see a castle in the middle of East Tennessee. I mean, so many cool things right there within just 20 miles apart from each other to learn about and experience. And then I think the haunts are pretty dang cool too. Just, so many
that I'm about ready to give away. About ready to raffle off Shelly.
A few events that we've got going on at the jail that's coming up here. I know, let's see. We are going to be closed. I did just work on that calendar. We are going to be closed on Easter Sunday. You know, a lot of the time we're open on holidays, but we are going to opt to close on Easter Sunday just because a lot of the folks around here celebrate Easter and probably going to be celebrating that with the families rather than at the jail. But really cool, exciting thing coming up with the Tennessee Association of Museum Conference that is going to be in mid-March, which is the 18th through the 21st. And if you want to tell us a little bit about that, Chris, because that's really something that is exciting and I'm proud of you about that.
Oh,
You're
well,
gonna be
thank
doing.
you. Thank you. So some of y'all know, if you're paranormal investigators or you have a historic museum or historic site, or you're a ghost walk tour operator, I've been conducting a study since January of this year where we're looking at after dark programming and how it can benefit historic preservation. Essentially, how sites that are struggling for revenue can take advantage of these programs that are after dark. Sorry, I've got Sally here. So I've had a great response. I've had 240 historic sites from across the country take part in the survey. I had 137 paranormal investigators complete the survey, so thank you for that. And then I had 34 ghost walk tour operators from across the country answer the survey. So we have a great amount of data that I'm going to be analyzing here in the next couple of weeks. And the very first presentation that we will be presenting it at will be at the Tennessee Association of Museums annual conference in March. I will be speaking on the 21st from 10:30 to 11:30. And I'm really excited to present this data because we have a lot of great speaking points with regard to how after dark programming can help these areas or these locations that are struggling to find different revenue dollars, how they can take advantage of that. I'll be offering the jail as an example. I've spoken to the USS North Carolina director, and she's given me some great speaking points. So I'll be talking about the USS North Carolina. I'll be talking about Fort Mifflin. I'll be talking about Fort Duffield. Thank you to Ernie Pack for sitting down and speaking with me about that. I'll be talking about the Sam Davis House. I've spoken to their director and kind of some of the things that they want to do. So a lot of these historic sites I will be talking about and how they take advantage of after dark programming, and those that have not taken advantage of it, really how they can benefit and how they can make a program successful by taking advantage of some of these tourism dollars, these after dark tourism dollars. So this is something that I've become extremely passionate about, especially since we've opened the jail and Rugby. And I think it's just a lot of good speaking points. So that'll be the first conference that I present this data at. I have been asked by several historical societies to give this presentation again. So if you have a historical society or a location that you would like this data presented at, reach out to me and we can come up with some dates and some times to kind of help you do that. Like I said, if you're a historical society or a town or a main street or something that you think could benefit from this data, let me know and we can work out a way to get that to you or to get me there to speak on your behalf.
Yeah. And so we will be closed that day. I mean, that's a Thursday. Just watch our page for that. And that kind of ties me into this. If you are traveling from, I know there's some folks in here that have traveled to the jail on random days, and if they've traveled 2 hours or what have you, while we're still in the middle of our kind of wonky weather here on the Cumberland Plateau. If you are going to be traveling a distance and it is kind of well, I say any day, just reach out to us and make sure that there's that we are going to be open, because sometimes this inclement weather does require us to close, or we may be having a special event. So if you are traveling any specific distance, just give us a call and let us know the date you're planning to come. And this is during one of our day tours. So because obviously if you have a tour booked with us, you know, we're going to be open.
Right.
So, so that's really cool. Those 2 dates we will be closed here in March. Carrying on over into April, we will be having our 3rd annual Blessing of the Bikes events. And we're so excited to be partnering with the Christian Motorcyclist Association, which is out of Caryville, Jacksboro, Campbell County area. I think they're called the Servants of Jesus chapter. And so they're working with us again for the third year, and we're just now working out food options. We're thinking about maybe blessing in a biscuit is what we're thinking about. It's going to be from 9 a.m. Eastern to 12 noon on April 15th. Or wait, no, I'm sorry, April 13th.
13th,
so,
yeah.
Yep, the third annual on the 13th. So, so we'll be open during those breakfast hours. And so we hope you'll come out. If you're a motorcyclist or if you know a motorcyclist, let's kick off riding season in a good way with come on out here, get your bike blessed by our Blessing of the Bikes chapter here. And then also grab yourself a breakfast biscuit and sit down and take a tour of the jail. So, so we are excited about that. Maybe have a few more really cool things planned for that. So that's April 13th. And as Chris said at the top of the hour, we're also working on motorcycle rides that we're going to be doing. We did some of that year before last. We didn't really get to do any this past year with the expansion of Rugby and everything going on. But we're hoping during the summer months to probably at least offer at least one motorcycle ride a month. And we will cap that at probably 15 riders. And we're going to be, we're setting up a really cool ride and really cool partnership with some local restaurants where on your ride, you're going to get you some food and you're going to get to see some really cool historic sites along the way, get to actually stop and tour those sites. So we will limit those numbers to probably 15 bikers, I'm thinking, but we'll kind of see how it goes. So stay tuned for more information on that. That's coming up with some really cool motorcycle rides that's going to be coming up this summer.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that. So a lot of really cool things. Bob, the best time of year to visit weather-wise, it really depends on what you like. If you like the warmer weather, come during the summer. We have a lot of stuff going on. The fall is obviously beautiful. Spring could be hit and miss with storms, so you just never know, but it's still a beautiful time to come. You really just can't go wrong visiting East Tennessee any time of the year, honestly.
No, and we're climate controlled there at the jail. So we do kind of, in the colder months, we do tend to err more toward the cooler side. So when we say we're climate controlled, please still dress warm when you come to investigate. But you can investigate summer, winter, fall, anytime around here because we do have heat and air in there. That Rugby's a little bit of a different story. Only 2 of the buildings in there do have heat and air. Now, the ones you stay in for lodging, those have accommodations, but they're outside of Rugby. That's kind of why it's a little bit slower during the colder months. But yeah, anytime, Bob. If you pick the spring or fall, those are my favorites because the area is just so beautiful that time of year, and there's a lot of hiking and a lot of overlooks and beautiful things to see around if you come around that time. We're about to start wrapping things up. So if anybody has any last minute questions or anything, please go ahead and put those over there in the comment section. I'm trying to just think. I know we've had so much. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've missed.
No, I mean, I honestly didn't know we'd talk for the whole hour, to tell you the truth, but we did have a lot to talk about. The bank building obviously is something we're really excited about. So keep a watch out on the Facebook page for all of the information regarding that. And, we'll keep posting pictures about the move over and how that's all going. And then any speaking engagements that we have regarding our the study and the survey and all of that, I'll definitely be posting those. And so you can take advantage of those if you're in any of the areas. And then, just keep watching the Facebook page here at the jail and at Rugby for all of our upcoming events and announcements.
Yeah, and then Soul Sisters and Ghost Bikers still trucking
Forgot
away
about those.
Yeah,
we still do have paranormal investigation teams.
We do, and I hope one of the other things we've talked about that we're wanting to do on our days off here, I would say probably on a Tuesday night, is we're hoping to do more lives from the jail and from Rugby, and there'll be many lives. They won't be a full night investigation. Maybe an hour in the drunk tanks, an hour in the Thomas Hughes house. Anyways, we're planning to do more lives, and those will be we'll be switching those out, probably one doing one location 1 month and one doing the other, and so those will be on the historic Rugby After Dark, historic Scott County Jail, Ghost Biker Explorations, and Soul Sisters pages. So we're hoping to do more of those on our days off, whatever those are.
Whatever those are. I'm about to say, you keep saying these days off, and I don't know if we have those, Miranda. So not sure what that is. But yeah, so as Miranda said, Ghost Biker Exploration, Soul Sisters Paranormal, the Historic Scott County Jail, Historic Rugby After Dark. Just please go and like those pages. Subscribe to our YouTube channels as well. The Jailhouse Informant does stream live on YouTube, and obviously Ghost Biker Exploration is on YouTube. Soul Sisters Paranormal is on YouTube. So yeah, just keep track of everything that we do, because we are pulled in 5-6 different directions, but we're having a lot of fun doing it, and we could not do it without the support of you all over here in the comment section. So thank you all so much for always being there for us, for liking what we do, for supporting us, for supporting Selly, for being our cheering section. It could not have been possible, any of this, without you guys. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and coming in investigating, I mean, we love our investigators, and we tell them that every time they come. We love you guys, and if it wasn't for you all, we wouldn't be able to keep the doors open at the jail. That is what drives the success
everything that we do
there at the jail. Yeah. And so we're hoping that we're going to be able to really highlight some of the videos. I know I've seen about 5 or 6 really cool videos that have come out of the jail just in the last little bit. I know some of you over in the chat room, you actually found us from these videos and tune in every week. So I know Lori that watches, she found us from Paranormal Quest. And so we're hoping to have some of those investigators on the show here very soon. And we're also going to be continuing with our series. My favorite thing is our series there that we do on other jails around the country. Yeah. So I think we've had about 8 different places this year on the show. And we've had many more than that throughout the year. But these are other jails from all around the world. So if you have a local county jail in your area that's closed, that's historic, or one that you've investigated that you would like for us to highlight on the show, please reach out to us with that jail and a contact person, and we'll reach out to them, have them on, and we'll highlight their jail. And so all of that will be coming up. Lots of great things planned. So yeah. So
all right, so good stuff. I've got a flashlight tour. You've got Ghost Biker Explorations, the Ghost Biker Garage. So jump over to that page and watch Miranda tonight. I'm gonna go turn off all the lights and tell Selly to calm herself down. Seriously, I might have to raffle off this cat. Goodness. But thank you all so much. We really appreciate all of your support. We hope you have a fantastic evening.
Yes, 9 p.m. Eastern for me tonight. Ghost Biker Garage. I have the one and only Adam Bonnet glider that's going to be on. Another 2-wheeler in a different kind of way that's going to be on tonight. So definitely tune in there on the Ghost Biker Explorations page. So until next week, we hope everyone has a wonderful weekend.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.